Hello and welcome back to
Too Hot for Love.
Today we are recapping MILF Manor Season 2, Episode
4, which is so fun. Today was such a good episode.
It was an incredibly eventful episode. There was a lot of romance and connection happening this episode and a lot less fighting happening this episode. So I am very pleased with that. But before we get too into it, hi, we are a reality dating show reaction podcast. We recap the episodes truly from start to finish for you. We tell you everything important that happened in the episode and give you our opinions on it. And we do so from a place of we know that this is reality TV, and we know that reality TV does not mean these are these real people. We understand that. And from a place of loving MILFs.
Yes. And we won't only just do MILF Manor. With every new fun reality dating TV show that pops up, we will try to do that, and we're gonna do it.
Y'all left some excellent recommendations in the comments of the last one that we were both hoping for, which was the queer season of Are You the One?
Oh,
we had talked about it, and somebody was like, I would love to see you guys react to that. And I'm like,
let's do it.
I love it. I love that we're aligned on that. So thank you to everybody who leaves your comments. We love hearing all of your opinions on the drama. This is why we do it. We do this because we just wanted people to talk about reality TV with. Let's be honest.
It's honestly, that's how it started. It was just like, reality TV, you love it, I love it.
You love it. Let's
start
find
a
other people that
podcast.
love it. So please do leave us your opinions in the comments. And if you are enjoying the show, be sure to like the video. It helps us out a lot. If you enjoy it, you can get it on every podcast platform. And you can also get some juicy secret clips at patreon.com/pixelcircus of extra things that were cut out from this episode.
I'm Kendelle Lynn.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
Cue the intro. Last episode doesn't end on a cliffhanger.
No, it ends on, I guess it's the height of the argument, but like,
yes,
we know where it's going. We've seen what they were going to say. It's not like we were waiting to find out if they were going to confront her. They most certainly did. Kelly leads the pack. The pack that goes to confront Jamie sitting with Anthony about Jamie having a boyfriend. And we thought maybe we'll get some context. Maybe we'll finally get like, hey, what is their relationship dynamic, right? Like maybe they're open. There has to be something. She's going on television. It's not like she was planning on being able to do this in secret.
But then they just cut it off early, show us a preview of the next episode. And we finally got back to it, finally got a conclusion. Kind of. It was really rough.
Yeah.
For Jamie especially. Super rough.
It honestly, like, it felt like a lot. Like, it felt like a lot. It felt like a lot.
Especially, like, Kelly's energy was so up here, and everyone else's energy was kind of, like, down here.
Yeah.
And she was just like, I'm single. Are you single? Are you single? Are you single?
And all of them are like, yes, we're very single. We're so single. And it's very strange to have somebody who's been in the house for 26 seconds be like, you don't belong in this house. Get out of this house. Leave the house. You don't belong here. I'm like, okay, why don't you set your bags down first, Kelly?
Yeah, she was taking on the role of, you need to leave. You don't belong here. You're taking up space here. It's like, is that your call, Kelly?
You just got here,
You're pressuring
Kelly.
someone to leave, and I think she literally came that morning.
Yeah.
And at least that's what it looked like, edited-wise.
It was a whole lot energy-wise, and I have to agree with Anthony on him being like, okay, she's humiliated. You did it. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, there's also a little part of Anthony. Basically, it was like a conversation between Anthony and Kelly only, even though everyone else was around.
Yeah.
And she was like, you left me to talk to her. Congrats.
And he was like, she said she wanted to talk to me. I was being a gentleman.
And she's like, not a gentleman to me.
I'm like, oh my God, settle down.
You're on a reality show. You're supposed to talk to everybody.
She has this, like, such intense, a little bit of entitled energy that, like, is a lot. It's happening big. And I feel like there was a little bit of that last season, and it was not as much, though.
Yeah, and it's
like, she was wild last season, but not as, like, aggressive.
I only remember one time she was aggressive in first season, and that's when she was telling everyone in the house to speak English. Rough,
Kelly.
Two moms and a son. They were just speaking Spanish to each other because, it's like their first language, natural dialect. Like, you can speak whatever language you want to speak, and she somehow got super offended by two people speaking Spanish
Yeah.
in a house
Yeah.
full of, what, like 20 people.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that was like the only time I remember her being
and
aggressive.
we hated that.
We did.
And everyone disliked that.
Yeah.
Really, truly, everyone disliked that. But other than that, she wasn't super aggressive generally. She was just more like, ooh, I'm wild.
I'm
and
wild,
I was
I'm
expecting
pushy,
more
let's
of
make
that.
out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she has been so intense and so like, I don't know, like vicious this 2 episodes she's been here. It's been
Yeah. And like it's starting to, like, Anthony himself was like, I don't even know if I like Kelly anymore.
Yeah.
I do. I like Kelly, but
yeah.
it was a lot last night.
And he's like, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Like, you know, maybe that was all just in the drama or whatever. But it's definitely off-putting.
It's
definitely off-putting. And you can tell that it's off-putting to him. He's not into it. He doesn't like it. And neither do I. And I just feel like there's like a mean demeanor to her this season.
Yes.
That like I didn't notice like as her like resting face last season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't mean it in the sense of like how women are accused of having RBF. I mean, she looks like she is like ready to go all the time. You know what I mean? Like she looks sour looking around the house casually. And she was not like that last season.
I don't know. Maybe we just didn't see that side of her last season.
Right.
Because, like, how can a person come out this hard at someone and super aggressive and that's not their, like, natural being? When it's like, honestly, this is low stakes. I'm just saying. Like,
well, the way I see it, there are 2 main possibilities for why Kelly is coming in with this energy this season. One, they brought in somebody and were like, hey, we need you to come in and cause some chaos. And she was like, job understood. As I accept the assignment, right?
Yes.
Because she's coming in late, which
villain
is like,
of the season.
Right. So either she was assigned to be the villain of the season and she, was like, I'm in. Or she's a little too confident having been on a season of reality TV already about how much she can like get away with and like what works on reality TV. And she's come back and been like, I myself am choosing to be the villain now that I've done reality TV. Like, I'm the one who's done this before.
I'm sure it's a mixture of both.
Yeah, it could be both.
Like, I'm sure there's like an energy of like being confident on a set. Or just around people, like, ooh, I'm like, I don't know if she thinks she's hotter than everyone or if she just thinks she's like more of a life of the party or something. But like, she definitely feels like she has like a step above everybody.
I wish she would get to know the other women. I wish she would take a little bit of time to get to know the other women in the house because I feel like the women who were all there at the beginning together did have a little bit of time to get to know each other, and I want her to participate in that. But again, as we say every episode, literally we always come back to just like, I just want all the women to like each other.
They should, and they really should like each other. But, I think there's going to be bad blood between Kelly and whoever was friends with Jamie is what I'm assuming, because Jamie went into the house, talked to all the boys, was like, I'm sure you heard that I have a boyfriend.
And Joey's face.
We're pretty sure Joey especially didn't know.
They literally just cut to Joey's face like, oh? Like
you
a
have a
full
boyfriend?
He has such perfect reactions.
He really does.
Like they just cut to him for every reaction because it is so
good.
Like he wears everything on his face,
which is so perfect for television. So funny. It's what we need.
It's so great. So fully you get like a huh?
She's saying she's a boyfriend. She didn't mean for this to happen. Like she didn't have bad intentions. And then Kelly comes straight and going, she needs to leave. And get out of the house.
Anthony's like, dude, she's leaving. Just like, let her go,
Calm down.
Like, let her leave in peace. And she's like, no. And it's so uncomfortable. So what it comes down to is Jamie does have a boyfriend. Jamie said that she had started seeing somebody after she had already begun the process to come on the show. And she fell in love and she didn't expect it.
Oh,
and
that was like so sweet. The way she was talking about it, that was clearly so sweet.
Is very in love and it's very sweet. And it's clear that this has solidified that for her because what she said was she had a conversation with her boyfriend and what they decided was that like if it was meant to be that like she would still go have this experience and come back like to him.
And it's happening. She's going back to like the new love of her life. That's really fresh and we should find out if they're still together.
Oh my God, we absolutely should. She was honestly pretty stoked about leaving. It seemed like she couldn't wait to go home to her boyfriend. Was like, honestly, this sucks. I'm out of here. She was like, that's fine. I'm going home to my boyfriend who I love. So
No,
good
peace
luck.
out.
Yeah. After getting like torn apart by everybody who is like talking about being essentially in this state of like, I don't know, that energy, that group had an energy of desperation in that moment, you know, when they're coming at her of like, we're so single, how dare you not be? For her to be like, okay, then I'm going to go home to my boyfriend.
You're like,
screw you guys.
Who cares?
That's honestly,
I love that energy.
Mic drop. Love that for her.
I was rooting for her. I was like, yeah, go home. Who cares about this?
Who cares about this? You got it, girl.
Yeah.
You got the thing.
Go home.
Yeah. Up next, we have a few just kind of like conversations happening throughout the house.
There was like a little bit of Darren talking about Kelly with his son, Sam, I think.
Yeah, it was very interesting because we get to see a little more of everybody actually talking about people they like again. We're like, thank you. There hasn't been actually a lot of dating lately on this dating show. So yeah, Darren's talking about how beautiful Kelly is, which we love a little attention for Kelly finally.
Kelly with a Y.
Yeah. Kelly with a Y, to be clear. We needed a little attention for Kelly finally, but I wish we had seen that kind of go somewhere more than just like.
Especially since we didn't see Kelly with a Y at all last episode.
Exactly. And they showed us this episode for sure that like people do not need to be on a date to connect because we see some connections forming just in the house because they're just choosing like, hey, do you want to go do this with me? Like, do you want to go sit over here or whatever? But there are a couple of people that are going to end up going on a date this episode by winning a challenge. We also saw, oh, you know what? Actually, this episode was all about sons and dads.
That's right. So at least the beginning of it.
Yeah. Before we get to the actual challenge, we see a bunch of moments between pretty much all of the father and son duos.
And it starts with
endearing.
Yeah, and they're all endearing. Everyone's like, my dad's my best friend. So this is like so fun. What a fun experience.
Right?
We'll start. Did we have a talk with them?
They were just
and
kind of
Michael.
hanging out. Yeah.
We can already tell they're best friends.
They're just chill as fuck.
Darren and Sam, they're basically, it almost felt like I told you this while we were watching it. It felt like they already have the experience and just the camaraderie of wingmanning for each other.
They do, which is concerning to me personally. But good for this show, but literally no other situation ever.
I think it's kind of okay and cute, but like it depends how far you're going. Because I'm okay. It's embarrassing for like sons or dads.
Yeah.
When you're in a restaurant and there's like a cute girl across or like a cute waitress and you're just like, my son thinks you're cute. I think that's fine. In like a wingman
I don't think
sense.
that's what's happening at all.
That's what I'm scared about.
I think that they're going way further than that.
Yeah, I don't want it to go further than,
no.
Hey, my coworker has a daughter and I think you should meet her.
Exactly.
I don't want it to go further
cute.
than that.
That can be fine. Yeah. But it is definitely like the boys out at the bar together.
That's what
you know
it
what
felt
I mean?
like. Their energy was we pick up women at the bar together.
And I don't like it. My son and I saw you from across the bar.
What are you asking? What are you asking?
I don't like that personally, but I do think the energy between them is sweet.
Yes.
Like
very sweet.
I don't like the idea that a man and his father could approach me in a bar.
I don't either.
I'm horrified by the possibility in the world. I don't want to go to bars if I think that's a chance. But
I'm okay.
I do love their energy together a little bit. It is very sweet.
Yeah. But if Darren came up to me in a bar and was just like, my son's into you, I'll be like, no, Darren, you're not into me. Right? Wait, you're not into me? Your son is?
Your son is too young for me.
I'm so sorry. Can I buy you a drink? Can we? Is your son over there? I'm gonna look this way. I don't want to look at your son. I'm not gonna make eye contact. Although I like Sam a little bit more this episode.
I will say, we're coming around. I think on a lot of these boys.
We are.
I hate
How
that
could this show do this?
For us. I hate that we're coming around on a lot of these boys.
Except for I don't know, maybe Joey and Anthony. We already know they have a loving relationship.
God, all the stuff between them in this episode is so sweet.
So sweet.
They're just like calling each other best friends and saying I love you. And Anthony's just like sweet Italian dad kissing his face.
So
it's cute.
Like you can tell that they just have a good relationship and that they totally make pizzas together all the time for dinner. Pizza.
It was honestly, all of these interactions were really sweet and adorable. And it comes around to this place where like, I think season 1 was so about the like implied incestuous discomfort because like mother and son relationships are known to get into some weird places with certain types of people, right?
Absolutely.
The boy mom energy is its whole own thing.
There's a whole show about boy mom energy.
There is, and maybe at some point we can have an
watch
episode of that.
that.
I love a mama's boy. But it's a very different energy between these sons and fathers, and I actually enjoy that they're not playing on the not playing as much on like the ick factor. Honestly, like this episode, I think we get a window into like they're kind of enjoying. Like Joey was like, I feel like my dad being here is gonna save me.
Yeah,
which is.
They had like it's so sweet. They had a sweet conversation, and it felt like they really actually knew each other because Joey was like, "Dad, who are you interested in? Oh, is it Kelly? You're interested in Kelly, aren't you?" And he goes, "Oh, well, I don't know because of last night, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, who else?" And then I think Anthony says Lynette.
He does, yeah. He says there's something very special about Lynette.
Joey's asking these questions of like, "Oh, I know why. It's because of this. Oh, she's like a little different. Oh, wait,
Green eyes.
Anthony says it's because she's like a little different." And Joey goes, "Oh, it's the green eyes." Like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Green
He's like,
eyes?
there's something really special about her, something really different. Green eyes.
Which makes me either think that Anthony has a thing for green hazel eyes.
Maybe.
Or Joey just wasn't listening. But I think maybe we're getting a little peek into Anthony's type, which is green eyes.
I guess.
That's what I'm hoping.
Maybe. But then you do get also, we just won't stop talking about how smooth of a talker Anthony is. Because you get this like shot of him by himself of just being like, there's something so special and beautiful about every single woman in the house. And I'm just like, there is. I agree.
And they should love each other.
Yeah.
Maybe with Anthony.
We also feel that way about all of these women in the house. So like, yeah, they are all so beautiful and special and wonderful. And I'm so glad that someone here recognizes it. And that makes me like Anthony. Him liking the women makes me like Anthony.
Yes.
That's kind of the thing, right? Yes. Which is why we were losing faith in Ashley last episode. Because not liking the women makes us not like you.
We didn't get much on Ashley and Jacob. It was mostly about Ashley comforting Jacob.
We got some Jacob this time, but a little bit later in the episode. So I guess moving on to Ashley and Jacob, there's not much in this part of the episode about them, but we will come back to them later.
Yeah. Because they definitely saved it.
Yeah, they did. Because the stars of this first half of the episode are Stacey and Miles. And I feel like we have been waiting for this moment. Now, a quick recap for those who are following along. Stacey and Miles didn't speak for 3 years leading up to this show. In this episode, Miles says that he cut Stacey off for toxic behavior and does not elaborate on what that was. And finally, they're going to talk about it because they have just been like awkwardly coexisting in this house. And we've been like, are you okay? And like, we felt so bad for Miles last episode.
Yes.
Miles looked so sad and was just like dealing with so much. And this is an absolutely unhinged context to be dealing with emotional turmoil in. This is not the place, and you shouldn't have to. So I'm so glad they finally sat down and talked, even if there was literally like cameras inside their ears.
You can tell there was a camera like 2 feet away from them. It was, I don't know how I could do an intimate emotional conversation like that.
Hopefully they're on like a long lens, but it did feel like you've got like
a
shoulder rig and somebody like,
and then they're just here like, son, I love you, bro. Bro, dude, love you. I love you, bro.
Just one cameraman, like, I love you too.
And they're both like not really looking at each other, but they are at the same time.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that thing of like, you know, men not raised to look in each other's eyes and show emotion. Yeah. And essentially, Stacey's like, I should have been a better dad.
Yeah.
I should have been better to you, and I've lost a lot of time with you that I can't get back. And Miles gives him a lot of grace, more grace than I would.
I think more than a dad deserves.
Yeah. Like being like, oh, well, you did the best you could. And he's like, no, I didn't. Which is also brutal to hear.
I mean, we out loud were like, you probably didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Probably
and he was
not.
like, I didn't. I didn't do the best I could. Like, I could have done better.
Yeah.
And I could have done more, and I should have done more. And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then they both cry, and he just kind of like rubs his neck while he cries, and it's actually a very sweet moment.
It's so sweet because it feels like they're saying that they're going to work on it, that maybe this is the start of a new beginning.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that does work out for them.
Yeah, Stacey's saying when he leaves here, they want to like hang out and be able to go do things.
Talk. Which I could never relate to. I just like, I don't think I could ever go up to my dad and be like, hey, I know we haven't talked in like 20 years, but I love you. I can't.
No.
I cannot. I don't even know my dad's birthday anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
And like,
I just can't imagine.
I just can't imagine not talking to my dad for years.
Right.
And then
being like, okay,
like,
but
like being ready for a relationship.
I think
so
that
I commend them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I like give
really
them a lot
open.
of respect for it. And I don't know if this is what I'm scared of.
Yeah.
I don't know if Stacey's doing this for the show or if
I
he
hope
actually genuinely cares about Miles.
If somebody to their son was able to do that for a TV show and not mean it, they're a psychopath.
Yeah,
if you are able to like
absolutely.
hold your son while he cries and then be like, okay, well, we're not going to keep talking after this and like call it. Psychopath. But
well, I hope it's not. I hope he did it on his own accord and the producers weren't like, can you take Miles to the side here and talk? Like, I don't want that. I don't want that. Because then that makes me feel like it's disingenuous.
Right. Here's what I will say. I can say so confidently that it was very genuine from Miles.
It felt
And that's like, unless they're bringing on actors for this reality show, it felt very genuine. It felt very emotional. And it felt very like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things of like as two men, like him like crying into his shirt instead to like not be seen by it felt very genuine.
But also to cry on TV, that like just takes so much, especially out of like, you know, men who are trained to not show emotions. I think this was like a great step in reality TV.
It was really sweet, and I hope that they mean that. And honestly, Miles seems so much like lighter after.
Yes.
Like when we get to the challenge, it's like, oh my God, he gets to have fun again for the first time since like his dad got here. Everything seems so much lighter and so much better. Like that tension just lifts immediately. And thank goodness, because Chris is the one who gets a text. Christopher opens up the phone and is like, hey, we're mud wrestling, basically.
We're going in a pool of mud. Woo!
Yeah. So essentially in this challenge, they are going to be like strapped to their partner.
They're tethered.
Yeah. And they're going to try and pull in opposite directions to try and reach a flag first. So it's like a strength test and you're trying to like grip onto the edge of basically an inflatable pool full of mud and climb to the other side.
Didn't actually look like mud to me.
It looked like
slime.
Watery.
It looked like water, brown slime, lube, oil.
Yeah, I don't think it was actually mud.
I don't think it was mud either.
Because it'll be easier to get off of stuff. Honestly, they all seem totally clean after they get out. So.
Exactly. So like it's definitely something you can easily just rinse off.
Yeah, 100%. And they pair the women together and the fathers and sons together.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
Darren could not participate because he's our boy in crutches. We love you in crutches. And he was just, host, MC.
Yeah.
But instead of him participating, he got to nominate a dad. And we'll get to that when it comes because it's so good.
So I don't remember the order exactly that everyone went in.
Yeah.
Do you?
I remember what it starts. And it starts with Lynette and Crystal.
Yes. And Lynette gives my favorite line ever. She's like, I don't want my secret revealed because my secret is dirty. I'm like, oh, okay. We were so hoping Lynette would lose this challenge because we want the secret. We want the secret so bad.
I was hoping. I was praying.
That voice drop on dirty, I was like, you've got something good.
Is it
Please tell us. Is it?
Is it actually?
Yeah. So for what they win or lose on this challenge, essentially, the person to grab the flag the fastest gets to protect their secret. Everybody's secret is already on a card, and the person who does not get to their flag will have to read out their secret. The two people who get to the flags the very fastest, one man and one woman, will get to choose somebody each to take on a date. So people have a lot at stake here that they're trying to get to. So they're not only trying to get to their flag to protect their secret, but also they're trying to get it the fastest to get their date.
Which I think this type of challenge is probably something more catered to our boys because it's something like rough and rowdy and fun. Yeah. More like energy focused.
It is not these women's vibe.
It is not these women's vibe. I don't know if it's most of the dads' vibes. I mean, you're just asking
a couple of them.
like, I don't know, 50-year-old people to like get on their like hands and knees and crawl really like against someone's strength. I don't know. I would do that now. I don't know if I want to do that in like 10 years.
Sure, yeah. But a couple of dads did kick their sons' asses in this.
Yeah, which I love.
So Lynette unfortunately won that challenge.
And we'll never know her dirty secret.
We're devastated.
Because it is a dirty little secret.
We're very happy for you for winning the challenge, but we wanted to know that secret so bad.
Yeah, will you DM us?
I want to know it so Tell us your secret, please. But we do get Crystal's secret. And Crystal opens this up.
I will say, though, I thought all of these dirty red flag secrets would be along the line of what Crystal had. Crystal had, I think, an actual, like, red flag.
Secret.
It was a secret. It was a red flag. And I respect her for giving that to the producers.
She gets up there. She gets her card. And she goes, I told my boyfriend that my best friend had been, what was it, in like a accident or something?
Yeah, like a car broke down.
That my best friend had been in an accident so that I could borrow his car to go sleep with somebody else.
I loved it. It was I thought it was a great secret to put out there.
Huge. Big. Whoa. Like the layers to that one.
Yes.
The layers to that one. And Stacey's confession was so
Stacey was like, she could take the bus if that happens with me or something like that.
Yeah, he was like, she's never touching my car.
Yeah, she can take the bus.
I'm like, did you just say that's the problem?
That's
did
not
you
the
just
issue
say
here, Stacey?
When she wants to cheat on you, she could take the bus?
That's not the issue here.
The car is really the least of my concerns.
Not
in
about
this.
the car. It's about what she did with the car.
She stole someone's car. Well, she didn't steal it, but you know, she borrowed somebody's. She borrowed her boyfriend's car.
She borrowed someone's car under ill intentions. Goes to someone else's house.
Yeah,
and bang.
Which is wild. It is wild.
Yeah, but I love that. Good for her.
So we thought, all the secrets are going to be on this level.
Good.
They're all going to be filthy. They're all going to be like, like make you all look kind of bad,
she
right?
She set the standard high.
She
set
did.
The bar high.
Yeah.
Kelly and Christina.
It was Kelly and Christina. And Christina really wanted to get the date. She was like, I am sick and tired of this. I really, really want to get this date.
And she went for it.
Yeah.
And Kelly's secret.
Yeah.
Kelly with an E, new season 1. Disco Mommy. Disco Mommy's secret was that she once had sex in a tree hanging like a monkey.
Now, both of us were like,
In my head, I immediately went to, so just sex outside next to a tree?
Yeah, she ended up saying that it was like bent over a tree in some capacity.
She kept
like
saying it was like a branch, bent over a branch in a tree. And I was like, what? I'm trying to visualize that.
Now, she did use the words like a monkey specifically, which made us think that you would be hanging from it, but she didn't say hanging. She just said like a monkey.
Oh, like a monkey, you're right.
But like, there's no way she was hanging from that tree.
I don't know.
There's no way she was hanging from that tree. The physics don't agree with that. But if so, pretty interesting. If not,
I think it was like to hype up your own secret. Like, I had sex in a tree. Well, I had sex not hanging, but like in a tree.
You gotta punch it up
over a branch,
like a monkey.
Like but like we had a couple of reaction shots to that, and it felt like they also didn't really get it or believe in it.
Yeah, like they were all like,
sure.
Like I think everybody, when you say something like that, is trying to picture it.
Yeah, and
you're trying to like math it out.
Exactly.
Like, how does that work?
For them, the math wasn't mathing on how you can have sex in a tree.
The math was not mathing for us either.
Bent over a branch like a monkey.
Yeah. The math did not math for me either on that. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see.
And then we had Kelly with a Y and Barbie.
Yes.
Who won that?
Barbie did. Barbie, well, because we know Kelly lost because we got a secret from Kelly, which is Kelly is a member of the Mile High Club.
Oh, that's right.
Now she did clarify that it was a private jet, which makes it a little less risque, honestly.
Yeah, it's okay.
But like, good for you, Kelly.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's like, 95% of the time of how people get into the Mile High Club is what I'm assuming.
It must mostly be private.
I don't know how you could do it on a commercial airplane.
And I wish you wouldn't.
I don't do it next to me. Don't do it in the plane.
Please don't.
That I'm in.
Please
don't even do it in the airport.
I'm already having a bad time.
I don't
need this. I don't need this.
And I think
don't make this harder.
Is all our women.
That is, you know what we realized we could probably do at this point is we could take Jamie off the board. She will not be up there for the next one. We'll have to reconfigure for the next one, but we'll have some reconfiguring to do anyways because of some reveals later on.
That's right.
Let's talk about these boys. Let's talk about father-son duos.
Let's start with Darren and Sam because I thought that was so funny.
Darren gets to choose somebody to go for him, and he chooses Stacey. He's looking around. He's like, I'm trying to pick a buff dad. I want a strong dad
and
that I think can win for me.
They're all like, ooh, you're fucked, Sam. You're going to lose. Stacey's freaking ripped, bro. He got some weight on him.
And Stacey throws it immediately. He's like, I don't I'm not going to help Darren win.
And you can even tell he like doesn't move. You can actually tell.
He literally just like he just like turtles up and stays there.
And Sam
crushes.
reaches for that, crushes it.
Him.
Darren's little secret was that he still fantasizes about a nun when he was in like school, like younger.
Yeah, like a young nun that worked at his school when he was in like grade school or something.
To this day, which I think is also a fine secret.
Yeah.
I think it's a safe secret
I
for
think
TV,
it's safe too. I think it's very safe.
It's smart if you're not trying to like talk about how many people you fucked or if you cheated anyone.
Right? And here's the thing. It's so hard to do something like this because you have no idea how hard it's going to be and you do not want to be Crystal in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, we love that Crystal put it all out there, but you do not want to be on the side of that where you're like, oh, everybody else said something basically positive about themselves, and I told everyone that I stole my boyfriend's car to cheat on him.
Mm-hmm.
You don't probably want to be in that position. That's probably got to be a bummer. You're hearing everyone else's, and you're like, fuck. You couldn't read them before you typed yours, so they were like, just give us a secret, and you were like, okay. Christopher and Michael. Christopher won that one.
Yeah, but I don't remember Michael's secret.
Michael's secret was that he had, when he was single, taken his sons with him on a date because he couldn't get a sitter.
And then he asked his son, Christopher, do you remember that? And Christopher goes, yeah, that wasn't too long ago.
Christopher, how recently did you need a babysitter, my friend?
What do you mean it wasn't too long? Well, this also makes me wonder, how many times has Michael done it? You know, maybe they're like confusing the times that they brought each other on dates or something.
I feel like there was a joke earlier in this season from Christopher about going on a date with his dad.
I feel
like he did reference that at some point. So maybe it happens all the time, but also I'm like, what do you mean recent? What do you mean not that long ago? How long ago?
Yeah,
Be specific.
That one's also safe for television. Not
So
juicy,
safe,
but
yeah.
like juicy enough to make it on television.
Yeah, where you're like, oh, I don't like it, but okay.
It's something to talk about.
Yeah. Joey and Anthony.
That one was fun to watch, I will say.
Anthony absolutely destroys Joey in this. Absolutely sweeps. And then
you know
then
what?
reaches down and lifts him up.
Because I respect Joey because he looked like he was putting so much force in it that he actually slipped from underneath himself.
Okay.
And he's like the only one that really landed in the goop.
Got it. Okay.
So I was like, good for you, Joey, but your dirty little secret? I'm calling BS right now.
He said he slept with, what was it,
35?
35 women?
35 women? But he, like, the thing is, this is supposed to be like a red flag, dirty little secret challenge. And he walks up there and he goes, I slept with 35 women.
Like, the brag.
Like, it was like a brag, dirty little secret. I'm like, how old aren't you, 21?
He's either 21 or 24. And look, I'm going to tell you all. I messaged him on Instagram. We have a voice memo.
Wait, this can't make it to the pod, but we're going to listen to it.
This part of the show is redacted. I'm sorry, but it feels polite to do that.
We took a pause to message Joey on Instagram, and we started with, how old are you? Because there's been some confusion here.
A lot of confusion.
People are saying 24 and 25 in the house, and then there was like a lower third that said 21. It was all very confusing, and we saw people when we were doing our live watch-along of the episode disagreeing about it. So we decided to go straight to the source, and we asked Joey.
He told us he's 21.
Well, he's now 22, but he was
now
21
22,
on the show. And he says that he lied to everyone in the house and said that he was older and that there was supposed to be a big reveal at the end, and they just never showed that.
Yeah.
That just got cut out, apparently, which we haven't seen the end of the show yet, so maybe at some point they reveal it, but I assume maybe he's seen the whole show.
Probably.
He must have seen all the episodes.
Well, I mean,
now.
like, everyone... No one has ever mentioned his age, and the only time we've ever seen his age, it was as a title card.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't even think it matters. I don't even think his age matters.
I feel like, though, if I was in this house, and then she
true.
realizes that he's been lying about his age, that's got to be a big deal. Because 21's a pretty different than 25.
It is.
Like, 21 is like, oh, you went to your first bar this year, a baby boy.
Yeah.
And that's different than 25. There's a big difference between 21 and 25. And then I'm also like, oh, you lied.
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm the MILF in this scenario, I'm like, the boy lied to me.
Yeah. You know, but like his dad's there too, so
yeah.
Why did his dad not hear?
I feel like his dad's just gonna back him up on it. I feel like his dad would. I feel like Anthony would.
Maybe
He'd be
Anthony
like, yeah,
would.
whatever,
I can
man.
see that. I can see
like, he just
Anthony
wouldn't
doing
care.
that.
He'd
Absolutely.
be like, whatever, dude. That's fine. All right.
I love that.
You know, he's kissing his son on the cheek before they get into mud wrestle, you know?
That's true. That's true.
So Joey's secret says he slept with 35 people. Everybody kind of groans. Honestly, like all of the women that are standing off to the side when he reveals that are kind of like,
sure.
Okay. Yeah, okay. For your secret, you chose to brag. Okay.
So Joey says he slept with 35 women as a 21-year-old.
Now, we decided to challenge that by messaging Joey on Instagram.
And we asked him, did you really sleep with 35 women?
Uh-huh. And he said, I don't know.
He says, I don't know. He says, like, he doesn't actually know how many bodies he has, which, you know, fair, but, like, when I was 21.
Counting.
Mom, just kidding. I am a woman of God. But, you know, for sure, if I were, I was totally counting. I would totally count.
Yeah. Okay, Ashley and Jacob.
Ashley wins.
Sweeps the floor once again. Another, like, strong dad situation. Jacob's secret is on a very different level than everyone else's. He says, I get nosebleeds every time I have sex. And we're not laughing. We're not laughing at you. That's such a bummer. We're so sorry, Jacob.
Jacob, cauterize your nose. I did that.
Really?
So there was a time when I was, actually, this was like around college. In high school, I would constantly have nosebleeds just from anything because my veins in my nose were so close to the surface that they would just constantly crack and open. And you know what I did? I went to urgent care and they cauterized both my nostrils, and I've never had like a nosebleed out of like a weird circumstance ever since. Jacob, cauterize your nose.
I do think this would be good for you. I do think, because you didn't say sometimes when I'm having sex I get a nosebleed.
You said always.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time I have sex. Buddy. Buddy. No, sir. No.
And Barbie was like, I'm okay with that. I just don't want him on top.
I'm going to be honest. Wouldn't be okay with it. Not every time.
I would think something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it would distract me too much. It would take me out of it. I don't think that I simply don't think I could continue.
Yeah. I think as like a one night stand, something happens, you're like, oh, it's so fine. Are you okay? And you probably keep going or something.
I think you stop. Maybe you take care of the nosebleed.
That's true. You take care of the nosebleed. But like, then.
Like, I'm not going to be.
You come back a second time. You come back a third time. You're like, hey, there's a pattern happening here.
You know, do you get a nosebleed every time?
Every time?
And he's like, oh, yeah, it happens every time.
You're like,
no, I'm sorry.
You can take care of that.
No, I'm sorry. I would be too distracted. I'd be worried for you.
Yeah.
And that's not the mindset I'm trying to be in.
You can literally take care of that, Jacob. Okay?
I didn't know that was a thing. So he probably doesn't either.
But I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, everyone who messaged Jacob on Instagram. I will message Jacob on Instagram.
Yeah,
and I'll be like, cauterize your fucking nostrils. Okay?
But it's also so funny because like literally coming from Joey like bragging about how many people he's supposedly slept with to Jacob being like, I get nosebleeds. I'm like, oh my God. So again, one of those situations where like you didn't get to see each other's answers and you hear yours and you're like, fuck, I wish I had answered like everybody else. Yep. I wish I had given like a cool, sexy answer.
God damn.
And then lastly is Stacey and Miles. Now, Stacey does really try this time.
He really loses.
But he still doesn't get anywhere with it. Miles sweeps the floor with him as well. Mm-hmm. And Stacey's secret.
What was it?
Is
hold on.
That.
What?
And we know
I remember. His secret was that when he was a frat boy, he had a bet with his fraternity of who can sleep with the most women in a day, and he won. And the amount was 5 girls. And I actually believe that.
I do believe it.
I actually think I think you could do that if you like really set your mind to it.
Yeah.
If you look as good as Stacey.
Look, I believe it and ick.
And ick. Maybe that's what Joey's doing. Maybe he's having a bunch of like bets with his frat bros and they're like, every week, guys, we have to sleep with 5 people every week.
No.
I mean,
no.
Okay, hear me out. You sleep with 5 people. Oh my God, I'm defending Joey.
That was a day.
Wait. I'm defending Joey right now.
Why?
You sleep with 5 people a week. That's once every Monday through Friday. Every day, Monday through Friday.
A new person. You have to keep finding new people.
And then you just do it for a month and a half.
But you have to keep finding new people.
But if in college, it might be easy. In college, you can probably walk down a dorm room and be like, who wants to... Actually, no, it's probably easy for a woman. I don't know if it's easy for a man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, never mind. I'm thinking of like...
Yeah, you could do
I
that.
was about to say, I think I could walk down... Not right now, I would never. But like back in college, I think I could walk down a dorm room and be like, I want to fuck right now, let's do it. And
sure.
Like probably like...
But if
two men would come out of their dorms and be like...
But if a 20-year-old boy walks into the hallway and does that, I'm tripping him.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
You're so right, actually.
I just absolutely not. Absolutely not for a moment.
Okay, maybe Joey constantly goes
Stop.
to speed dating, and he always finds someone. And he has done speed dating 35 times now. Or more than, maybe, I don't know if his track record would be like 1-to-1 with speed dating.
He's been able to drive for like 6 months. How do you think he found speed dating?
I think there's like a speed dating event once a week in different counties. You know what I'm saying? So maybe
you think he's hitting up different area codes for speed dating events.
I'm thinking, okay? If it's possible for Stacy, it might be possible for Joey.
I like these wild situations and not like Tinder.
Oh yeah, it's probably Tinder.
You're like, I think he's driving to different cities for their speed dating events.
Okay, so maybe he's on Tinder and he's doing the whole boop, 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 swipe, 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 match. Ooh, hello, do you want to come over tonight? And he's done that 35 times. I'm trying to help you out somehow.
I don't buy it.
Working.
I don't buy it. I don't know, but I don't buy it. And that is the end of the challenge. Everybody has mud wrestled, and 2 were the fastest.
The fastest were Christina
and Anthony. Yeah, so they each get to choose a person to take on a date. Now, this controversial choice
for both of them.
Yeah, honestly, Christina is like, you know what? I don't really like what's happening here. I need to show Joey that my options are open because Joey's talking to other people, so can I.
I'm going to talk to Sam. Sam, would you like to go on a date with me? And he says yes.
And they immediately go to Joey's confessional where he's like, I don't like my girls talking to other men. And it's like, that is not your girl, sir. That is not your girl.
You should have locked it down.
Yep. Didn't lock it down. Not your girl. Not your girl. I get it. You went on a date. You've had your moments. You've had like a flirtatious thing, but not your girl, clearly. And you also have been entertaining other women. So
yes, that's very true.
So like no double standards here. She says absolutely not. She also, honestly, I think a little bit of this, and here's where I will give Joey this.
Okay.
A little bit of this is probably because the last thing we saw of her talking about him was honestly not even about him talking to other women. It was about him ignoring her when he came back from the date with Kelly.
Oh my gosh.
Which like, he didn't choose to go on that date.
Oh my gosh.
He didn't choose to go on the date with Kelly. Kelly chose them.
Yes.
And he was traumatized.
Wait, you're so right.
And she was like, he was ignoring me, so I'm going to get a date with another man.
Okay. That makes me see Christina in a different way.
Yeah.
But there's a lot we haven't seen.
I was already there. Christina had a rough last episode.
She did.
Christina had nothing but rough behavior last episode.
Oh my God, we forgot about a very beginning part of the episode where Christina and Lynette were talking, and Lynette was like, I hope that I didn't like break your trust with
She was
each
like,
other.
thank you so much for trusting me with that information that I immediately spread to everybody.
Christina's literally crying, like tearing.
Yeah, she's like, I feel bad for,
yeah.
Doing that. But like, you did it.
Anyway, now you're going on a date with Sam, so
yeah.
Good for you.
So she chooses Sam, and then we have Anthony, who chooses Lynette.
And we think Anthony might possibly choose Kelly, Disco Mommy Kelly.
And her face
when
he chooses Lynette. Oh my
gosh.
Absolutely sour.
Vile.
Yeah. The way she just like scrunches up, because it's like too layered. It's not like, oh, I'm disappointed he didn't pick me. She's furious. And that's like such a weird response. Sometimes I think that like the most off-putting is when the like emotion doesn't match the situation, right? And she's way too angry. She's been here for 24 hours. She's had like a brief conversation with Anthony. She has no idea what's been happening before she got here. And she is so upset. Her face scrunches up with such vitriol that it's like, girl, settle down. Girl, settle down. And Lynette seems so happy.
So happy. Like, she's so excited.
Yeah.
I think they do like a little kiss on the cheek.
Super cute.
Oh,
Super cute. So the dates. Let's go to the dates.
Yes.
Lynette comes out looking incredible.
So amazing.
Absolutely
An amazing
gorgeous.
color.
Beautiful color on her.
Gorge.
Beautiful cut of the dress. Looking absolutely snatched. Absolutely fabulous. And Anthony looks so handsome.
He's so
Has a full
handsome.
suit on for her.
Mhm.
And then he says, let's just have the date here. Let's cook in the kitchen.
Let's cook dinner.
Let's make pizza.
Why?
To advertise a pizza restaurant. Not really.
Dude, he literally was like, let's make pizza. You want to make a pizza? And I'm like, oh my God. She looks so good. Take her out right now.
But I'm guessing they did not have that option. I bet
think
the
it was a
producers were
production
like,
thing
sorry,
for
you have to
sure.
actually do it here.
I also think
because
that.
both dates take place at the house. So I think that he was just setting it up. So it was like, well, it's going to look intentional, right?
Yeah.
So he's teaching her how to make a pizza. The way that his restaurant makes pizzas, basically.
Which is cheese under the sauce.
Yeah. But they do have a cute little date. They seem to be connecting pretty well, having a nice conversation.
They had
He's
like a fun,
walking her through it.
They had like a fun time with the aprons.
Yeah.
He tied her apron around and then he was like, are you gonna tie me up now?
Yeah. And he's like, what are you thinking about right now? It was cute.
Lynette's just laughing.
It was
just
cute.
having a great time.
Look, Anthony, I get it. I'm hanging on by a thread to liking men. You know what I mean? But Anthony,
yeah,
every time he says something, I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I see it.
I like men more than you do, and I really see it with
right?
Anthony.
Yeah.
I like really, really see it.
And like, look, I date men.
Yeah.
It's just always hanging on by a
It's
thread.
like, is this my last man?
Everyone could be the last one. Every single one could be the very last one.
Date?
Everyone, I think, is the very last one.
That's so funny.
But then he's very smooth, and I'm like, no, I totally get it. I totally see why everybody's obsessed with you. And the date is cute. Christina and Sam's date. Outside, they have kind of like a little charcuterie picnic set up for them with s'mores around a fire.
That they didn't use.
And they immediately go to like cuddle.
First, I want to talk about what Christina's wearing.
Yes.
Ooh, tight little short mini dress
Yes.
of leather.
Leather black dress, a pleather choker
with like almost like a 1-2 inch choker.
Yeah,
so
the thick choker with like the hook on it.
And her hair fabulously blown out.
Absolutely. She came in much edgier than I was expecting. Yes. It's not how she normally dresses.
It is not.
So like it was giving like, I'm
surprise.
gonna need you to know. This is me trying to communicate to you BDSM. And in the most like I'm billboarding BDSM kind of way.
I gasped when we first saw her. I gasped. Yeah. I literally was like, wow.
Yeah. She looks great. She looks fabulous. She looks like she's trying to communicate something specific.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, is this normally how you dress? I want to know.
I also want to know.
I want to know if this is like
is this a going out top or is this like a top or a dress in your trunk?
I'm so curious.
In your trunk under the bed in the red room.
Right. Because I'm feeling like maybe. I feel like
the choker definitely it's a choker in the trunk under the bed in the red room.
Right. And they go to cuddle and
oh yeah.
There's
just I don't know.
Okay. So they're sitting next to each other, right? And they're having a conversation and she's talking because he was like, oh yeah, like I didn't know that you were like into me, whatever. And she's like, yeah, obviously I've had like a, and she's like, situation with Joey, but like, yeah, whatever.
The whole time she's drinking champagne.
And then
in between sips, talking.
But she initiates this in saying, has anyone ever told you you're a good kisser?
And he goes, do you want to find out?
He goes, I think I've been told that. I think I have.
Yeah.
I think I have. Do you want to find out? And then
she's like mid-sip. Like, do you want to find out?
We could.
And
she says we could.
We could. And then proceeds them to take 5 minutes to get into like a nice...
Okay.
Okay, like
all right.
this.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So then like I'll take the
I'll
okay.
go this way.
And it
was like a bunch of shuffling up until a really awkward kiss.
Want to find out?
I mean, I guess we can. Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
I gotta be on my A game for this. This is also competitive a little bit.
And the editors did them so dirty on that. They could have cut any of that out and they left every moment of it in. They left every moment. It's just so funny because like, do you want to find out? And it's so strange that she asked it and then kept drinking because it felt like a leading question it felt like I get what he was picking up on.
Yes.
If somebody asked me that, I would be like, oh, they want to kiss.
But also to continuously drink your drink.
Be like,
like, I feel like if you want to lead someone to ask to kiss them or something, you would just, like, not have in your hand. You're, like, ready for it.
Yeah. And she was not ready for
No.
it and was surprised when he was like, do you want to?
Yeah, unless that's a tactic.
Could. I guess.
Maybe that's a tactic of Christina's.
And look, watching people make out is so rarely actually hot. It's almost always gross to look at.
Can't do
like
it.
reality shows tend to get like really close to show what kind of kisser people are. And I can't name an occasion in which I've been like, that looks
good,
like something I'd like to participate in.
I only ever think that in like TV shows where they practice for hours on end.
And they like cut around it in a specific way that's supposed to be flattering to it. They're not like, let me see them lips. You know what I mean? Like when you see the actual kiss happening, like just kissing isn't cute. You know what I mean? Like it's not cute to watch. And that's this situation for sure. And we cut back, I think, at this point up to,
well, there's like a kind of a half third date happening, if you remember.
Oh my God, you're right.
We see Joey take Disco Mommy Kelly to the hot tub.
And Kelly's face constantly looks upset.
Yeah.
Like just like a little like disgust. I think it's a look of disgust a lot of the time.
But I think there was a moment where in the hot tub she was like, what are we doing? Or her confessional was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I'm only doing this to like get back at Christina and make her jealous, or is he actually interested in me? And I think it's the first one. I think it's the first one.
Joey has the most intense look when he gets in these hot tubs.
Oh my God, there's something about Joey in a hot tub. There's something about Joey. It's like he can't handle heat or something.
There is a look in his eyes that is so feral when he gets in the hot tub with these women. Maybe he's secretly a mermaid.
It's so hard trying not to transform.
It's a look of concentration in the hot tub.
Can I bite your butt? For everyone who's only listening, I stuck my foot out like a freaking mermaid as if it's growing its tail.
And he stares at them with such a like intense look in his eyes. And again, we think that it's like maybe this is the strategy, you know what I mean, too? Of like this is giving the
seminar
like
he watched that showed you how to talk and look at women.
Right. And it's intense.
It's so intense.
It is intense. And if I were in the hot tub with somebody and they looked at me like that, I would be like, I'm in danger.
You know what's actually crazy, though? Because, like, Kelly herself has a wild look.
She does. And I'm like, Joey, no, you are in danger.
It's like two wild looks looking at each other.
And I don't trust Disco Mommy alone with Joey. I'm worried about him now. She's got some weird energy this season.
Okay. Valid question from Joey to Kelly is, if I were to pursue you, if we were to go into the real fee, if any of this were to happen, if we were to hook up, would you still pursue my dad?
Which is such a wild question to have to ask.
It's wild.
It's like, and she's like, no, what? Like, oh my God.
The way she did say that was like, why would you even ask that?
Right. And I'm like, given the situation,
I would ask.
Actually understandable.
I would ask.
I wouldn't ask quite yet, though. I would have waited a bit.
Yeah.
I would have waited a little bit.
Yeah.
And she's just like, why would you ask that? And I'm like, no, I do get why you would ask that, especially when your dad is Anthony. I'm
yes,
saying, if all of them are into your dad specifically, then fair.
Oh, dude, you're
you know
in
what,
trouble.
Fair. You are in,
you're
like,
in trouble.
Honestly, coming from Joey exclusively, I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough, because all of
Good
these
question.
MILFs are really into Anthony, and I understand being like, listen, I just need to know before I invest here, because they did go on that, that little yoga date, and it was mostly between her and Anthony. So if it's like, hey, there's already a little bit of a connection between you and my dad, if something happens here, will you drop that? I'm like, okay, fair. But an awkward conversation for sure.
Anyway, they make out.
They do make out. And look, Kelly with an E is like, that was one of the best makeouts I've ever had. I would do it again.
I wonder if Christina was wondering if Sam's a good kisser because she also thinks Joey's a good kisser.
Maybe.
Like she's like, I don't want to lose this amazing makeout sesh partner.
Look, a bad kisser can truly ruin things.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you ever like had a really bad kiss?
Oh my God. I actually once dated someone. For the first month, we had no idea how to kiss each other. But we did figure it out like after honestly, though, a month is such a long time to not be able to, like, understand how to kiss someone. But we figured it out.
I dated someone for a good many months and it never clicked.
Oh, no.
A good many months. And it never happened. And it was always like, I don't think he knew. That was the thing. It wasn't like the two of us are like, oh, this isn't right, but we'll figure it out. He didn't know he was a bad kisser.
Oh, no.
He didn't know he was a bad kisser. It was rough.
Ooh.
But that can really ruin things. It really does. So good for Joey, I guess. Good for Kelly. Good for Christina.
Yeah. Finding men who can kiss well. I don't know. I don't like watching people make out, so I can't judge if you can actually make out.
It never looks good on a reality show.
Kelly with an E and Joey, it was a lot of tongue, though. I saw so much tongue
in there, and
it was like full palate tongue. It was.
I'm good.
It's like tongue out of mouth, touch, bring it back in to kiss lips,
and like look, have at it. I just don't.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we were screaming.
We were literally screaming. We just don't like watching people make out. Yeah. It's just one of those things. We go back to Lynette and Anthony.
Yes.
So Lynette and Anthony are having a nice little date. They decide to, go and like
the patio.
Yeah, out on the patio for a little
backyard.
bit. They're talking. They're getting to know each other. Lynette has this conversation and he's kind of like identifying these things in her. And he's like, she's saying stuff about how she's like very self-sacrificing and like a caretaker essentially in all of these relationships in her life. And he's like, are you a snuggler? And here's a fucking, this is such a play. This is such a play on him because you know what? She hesitates. And he goes, you're not, are you? And she's like, yeah, you could just tell. And she's so impressed that he could tell. You know why he knew? Because you hesitated. If you were a snuggler, you would have just said yes. That was a play. That was a move. He was pulling a move.
He also did another move and he was like, oh, what I like is just like the touch and feel.
Yeah.
And already like off that topic,
you're already touching and feeling.
Already touching her.
You're already getting in there.
Damn, what a move.
And it works. That move,
oh my gosh, it
lands. He says, I want you to like experience what it would be like for us to like hold each other close and sleep together.
Would you be down for that?
And she's like go to the real fee?
He's like, yeah.
I cannot believe you have full grown adults looking at each other and calling that room a real fee. I cannot like MILF Manor. You have done something sinister with that. Truly, that is maybe the most sinister thing that MILF Manor has pulled off. It is getting a bunch of grown adults to look at each other and be like, should we go to the real fee?
Damn.
But they do. They go to the real fee. And we're screaming. We're losing it. We're thinking, I
thought they were gonna like bang.
I mean, it's called the real fee.
Yeah.
And it like from his implications, he was saying it in a way of like, oh, let's just hold each other.
Yeah.
Like, I want to show you, I think there might have been some conversation there that was cut out that implied to me that like maybe past experience has made her less comfortable with physical touch.
Yes.
Maybe she doesn't feel like, really safe and comfortable around a lot of people. And he's saying like, I want to make you feel comfortable. I want to show you like, a good positive experience with this and like.
So let's just sleep in the same room together.
Exactly. But I did think that was like a
move.
And we'll see where it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it felt like. The way he was talking to me, I feel like.
And the way she responded.
Things happened.
And she seemed down for it.
She
was
did.
like,
there was no.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was like, I feel really safe with you. And
let's
we
go.
Love. And they do. But it does seem like they just get ready for bed.
Yeah.
And go to bed.
Yeah, but not before she was like, I love a fixer-upper.
She did say that. She did say that when she was like, I'm a, caretaker.
Yeah.
She's.
I love broken pieces and gluing it back together.
And I'm like, no. I know. I get it.
You can do that with your friends. You can do that with your family. Don't do it for men.
No.
Men should figure it out on their own.
It.
They don't deserve it from you, a hot piece of ass. I was like,
where are you going with this?
I was gonna say she was really hot, but I didn't know. I was like, I don't want to like degrade her because she's, right. Like, damn, she's hot and she doesn't deserve to fix men.
Right.
100%. Even if they're as smooth as Anthony.
Yeah. So far, he doesn't seem to be somebody that is particularly broken.
Yeah, I just want Lynette to be happy with someone who's already fixed.
Exactly. And I would say he does seem the most like sure of himself.
Yeah, that's true.
Of all the guys here, which is something. I don't know. I don't know what he's like in the real world. How could we possibly know? But I'm not mad at this. So it seems like they just get ready for bed, essentially, and snuggle up. We don't know. Who knows what happens in the real Fee?
There's a camera in there, though, I can tell you that.
There is. And I think if something was happening, they would have made it very clear.
They would have showed us.
They would fade to black tastefully.
Yeah.
Not very tastefully.
With the blankets all.
Exactly. Like The Sims.
Yes, it's exactly like The Sims. Like, woohoo.
They would have showed woohoo from The Sims. Yeah. But we don't see any of that. We see them essentially go to bed.
Cuddle, and the lights turn off with a nice, yay, we're going to go to sleep now.
Yeah. From there, honestly, there's not a ton else happening in the house except for Barbie and Christopher, who are sitting out on a couch, truly sitting at like a normal, healthy distance, having just a conversation. And this conversation is making Jacob have a breakdown. Jacob is having an absolute breakdown about them sitting at like this distance on the couch having a conversation. At one point, she like scoots in and like hugs him.
Yes.
And that's it. And Christopher is kind of like feeling it out and being like, okay, so who do you have a connection with in the house?
And she's like, I think it's obvious that I have a flirtation with Jacob.
Yeah. She does refer to it as just a flirtation, and it is very clear that he thinks of it as a lot more than that. But I would agree with her that, like, nothing else has happened. You guys went on one date.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, sir, you are not in a relationship. And he's like, okay. So, like.
And in his confessional, Christopher's like, I'm only interested in Barbie.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to talk to her.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're having like a really good conversation about just open opportunities.
Yeah. And she's like, I am interested in getting to know you, which is like a perfectly fine, healthy thing to say. But you see Jacob, literally, he's standing at the door, like holding on to a basketball as if his dad has just like, said he was going to be home from work to play ball with him, but didn't come home at 5. Aw, late again.
You just waddle inside. But through editing, we don't actually know how far Jacob was from them.
No, but he must have in some way been able to at least see that they were talking.
Yeah.
I don't think he could hear the conversation, but they cut it in such a way that we see them like hugging and then him like, and then he goes inside and he goes to talk to his father immediately and is just like, I just thought that we had something basically.
Like,
and
I'm very used to only dating one woman at a time and like this situation has thrown that off.
Which I respect. But you did come on a reality dating show.
Yeah.
A competition. A reality dating show competition.
Yeah.
So you did have to know that you were going to probably find yourself in a situation, but maybe you really know. You never know how you're going to feel in it. So he says, right now, my instinct is to leave.
Insane.
And that's a lot.
And then
that's a lot, Jacob.
Like a father-son moment of like being there for each other and Ashley hugging him, being like, "Oh, it's okay, son."
Yeah.
Well, why are you having a breakdown, Jacob? And I know like a lot of emotions can go just haywire on a TV show. But I don't know why this particular instance is like making you double think your just stance with Barbie.
And the thing that we see on reality shows a lot is like, oh, well, they go talk to the confessional instead of talking to each other. Because so easily he could have waited till they were done talking and then been like, hey, Barbie, are you interested in Christopher? And maybe she'd have said yes. Maybe she'd have been like, I don't know, I'm keeping my options open. And then you can be like, ooh, am I able to deal with that, right? But right now you see literally her talking, her having a conversation with another man. It sends you into a spiral. A lot of these guys are here because they're like, I just really like mature women and I'm just like really mature and that's why I like to date older women. And I'm like, if you cannot handle this woman having a literal conversation, again, they're not even like cozying up to each other. It does not look like a romantic conversation.
No,
it's
they
so
look
chill.
Just as far as we are sitting on the couch right now.
So chill. And it is a sign of immaturity to be like, my solution is to leave and not even to talk to her.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get to talk to her next episode. Maybe we'll see the kind of conversation between them. But like, it feels like a lot of people are doing this right now where you've got like Christina being like, okay, well, if Joey's going to go on a date with Kelly, and it's like, no, Kelly chose him and his dad to go on the date.
Yeah.
And realistically, that date was between Anthony and Kelly.
Yeah.
Joey was curled up in fetal position by himself on a mat.
Yeah.
That was not a romantic experience, I don't believe, for Joey, but nobody's talking about it, right? And then you've got everybody having these kind of different things of Joey being like, oh, well, Christina picked somebody else. Why did she pick somebody else? Like, if she's going to go out with somebody else, I'm going to go out with somebody else. And it's all miscommunications. It's all just a breakdown of communication. we are coming up on the end of the episode. We have a little bit of a preview of the next episode. Yeah. We know that we're seeing a little bit more time between Barbie and Christopher in the next episode, but there's a shocking preview, a shocking little reveal.
Oh shit! They go to the beach, and they're like, "Oh, what is that in the ocean? Are those jet skis
out? Because they know they've got jet skis."
2 more men.
2 more men. Has to be a father and a son rolling up. And we see a little bit of like preview shots.
Oh my gosh. We see muscle.
We see muscle.
And Barbie's like, who are these hot men?
Everybody is like, oh my God, they're hot. So it feels like they saved a father-son duo that they knew was just gonna come in like a wrecking ball.
Smoke them.
Smoke them to come in now once people have already made connections, just to throw a wrench in it. Because we've got so many episodes left to go.
And now we have so many men with not enough women.
Yeah, so in this episode then, we're seeing that Jamie is leaving and 2 more men are arriving.
That's too many men for me.
That's too many men in the house.
That's a lot of men.
So do you think we get another woman entering the house?
I don't know.
Because I think lot Kelly of people entering.
I think it's a lot of people. Because last season we only had 1 new mom and son. So
if we're already down 1, then we have.
Oh, you know what that actually makes me think? That makes me think someone's leaving, like of the men. That makes me think a father-son duo is leaving.
Who do you think?
I bet it's Christopher and Michael.
I would also bet it's Christopher and Michael because they're just not making any connections seemingly with anyone. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised by that. Yeah, I guess that's just kind of the balance.
Oh,
2 men per MILF.
Yeah, I just thought of a great thing for the show to do. It's just like a triple date almost. It's like 1 woman, 2 men.
Yeah.
Kind of like The Bachelor.
Yeah.
I would love that.
All right. Well, that's where we're going to leave you for MILF Manor Season 2, Episode 4, and the 4th episode of Too Hot for Love. Thank you so much for watching or listening. If you are somebody who watches on YouTube, this is available on podcast platforms and vice versa for the other ones. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like the video if you enjoyed the episode. Let us know your thoughts. Please, this is my favorite part. I love all of the comments so much.
I love reading them.
I love hearing all of your thoughts on it.
Miles commented on the last episode.
He did. Thank you, Miles.
Thank you so much for interacting, for enjoying it. We're having such a great time watching your journey. We're so happy that you're in a happy spot.
Yeah, that was so lovely and so sweet. And the cast has been absolutely delightful in saying they're enjoying the show, which was so unexpected.
It's so fun.
It's been a very interesting journey, as you can tell by us messaging Joey in the middle of this episode.
I'm so surprised he answered back.
Thank you to Joey.
I'm surprised he answered.
If people were gonna find you where they could, DM you secrets about the show, where would they do that?
Please do it somewhere, anywhere on any of the socials at Kendelle Lynn. Saige, where can they find you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige, and on this channel, Pixel Circus. Patreon.com/Pixel Circus if you want some of the deleted scenes from this episode.
We have a lot.
But some
we have
so much. We have so much on this one.
one.
We're not going to tell you what. You have to be there for it.
Yes.
So check it out. And Daddy's out.
Daddy's out.